and welcome to Freida Speaks Face to Face. We have been out for a week, took a break for a week, and now I'm back. And I want to welcome everybody. Y'all come on in and hop in with me today, and let's have some fun. Let's talk. Let's share today. And so I'm giving you just a moment to let everybody know I'm on, to hop in, and also to share my page to let people know that we have gone live. I've got a great show for you today. But today, just as we begin, I want to know how you guys are doing. I want to know, what's going on, in your life. How are things? How are things moving forward? I know we're another week. I know things have opened, but everybody is not out right now. Everybody's still kind of a little sketchy about going out. Everybody is not out. I know there's a lot of people who are not out. They're not leaving the house at all. So I just want to just check on you, see how you're doing, see how things are going. I'm waiting for you guys to just come on, get on it, get on and share and let people know that we are live and we're ready for a great discussion. So what have you guys been up to? Hey, Angela, how are you? What are you guys up to today? And let me know. Happy Mother's Day to you all as well. Happy Mother's Day weekend. We're getting started. This is Mother's Day weekend. Yes. And I'm excited about this weekend. Another day to celebrate all of you wonderful mothers. I'm glad I'm a mother, but I'm glad to celebrate all of you mothers out there. So happy Mother's Day to you. I hope you're doing well. And today, we're talking about Mother's Day. We're talking about mothers and daughters. But before we start that, I want to take just a moment and I want to talk about Ahmaud Arbery, the young man that everyone has seen in the news lately. I guess today is his birthday. He was killed back in February, out just taking a jog in his neighborhood, running in his neighborhood, and was gunned down. And so, it's a couple of things made me think about him today. One, that, today is his birthday, but another thing that it is Mother's Day weekend. And so I'm thinking about his mother and praying for his mother right now as she is having to deal with the loss of her son in such a tragic and senseless way. And so, it's kind of, for me, it's one of those things. I know I've been watching the news and I've been seeing this, and it's amazing that, we are in May and this happened in February. And we are just now getting to the place where someone is speaking up and saying something about this young man and what happened to him, and arrests are just being made. I am so glad that arrests are being made, but I could not imagine how that mother feels. And so, today our hearts go out to her and to all the mothers out there, in whatever your situation is. But I just wanted to make sure we bring awareness to the situation, and that we are, paying tribute to him today on his birthday, and that we are also, thinking about his mother. And now that everything is in the news and in the national news and being talked about, she's having to relive this all over again. So prayers to her and to everyone. But I hope you all are planning a wonderful Mother's Day in the midst of this pandemic. I know that you're probably having to stay in the house. You're having to stay in. You're having to, not be able to get out and go to Mother's Day dinner, which I don't like to do that anyway. I like to be at home for Mother's Day. I want them to cook for me for Mother's Day. But anyway, I wanted to, hey mom, that's my mommy. Hey mother, happy Mother's Day to you. Happy Mother's Day, cousin. Good. Tell Auntie I said happy Mother's Day. But hopefully you guys are going to plan something special, even if it's just sitting down, putting your feet up and enjoying your day. I hope you have a great Mother's Day. So today we have a Mother's Day edition, and it's called Mommy and Me. And so I thought it would be great to just talk about, from a mother's perspective, parenting. I know the fathers are involved too. They get theirs next month. But we're talking about being a mother and parenting from the mother's perspective. And so I thought it would be great to do a Mommy and Me segment. And so I wanted to come on. And so I wanted to bring on some people that we could talk and dialogue and maybe help those of you who may have questions, or just you may offer us something as well. Don't forget to share. Also, don't forget to, go ahead and get those questions. If you have some, go ahead and you can start posting questions even as we're talking, and we'll get those pulled up when we get to this question section. We don't have to wait. You could go ahead and put questions in the news, in the feed, if you think of something while we're discussing, and then we'll bring it up during that time. But I wanted to do this section, and I know that we, I have a son as well. So believe me, I'm a mother, and I have more than just a daughter, but I have a son. But today we're going to talk about daughters today. Okay. I probably could have got him to come on here anyway. He wasn't going to do it. But today, I want to bring on my special guest today. She is my oldest child. She's the first one to call me mommy. And she is the oldest of my two children. Bright young lady who has a wonderful future ahead of her. She is a recent graduate from the University of West Georgia with a bachelor's degree in philosophy. There she is. That's my baby girl. And so we're so excited. I'm so excited to have her co-host with me today and come on and be with me today. And so there's a lot about this young lady. She's strong, she's determined, and she keeps going. She keeps going. And so I'm so proud to introduce, she's sitting right here, but she wanted me to bring her on special too. I'm so proud to have my daughter, Erin McCullough. Come on in. There she is. There she is. There's Erin. Hey, Erin.
Hi, everyone.
Hello. Let's make sure we get the camera right. Get you in there. There we go. And so I'm glad to have my daughter, Erin, with me today as we are working and trying to work in this frame here. Are we good? Are we good? We need to move you over.
I think
we need to go this way. Okay, there we go. So we don't have to be like leaning and looking awkward. There we go. We don't want to look awkward. So make sure we're both fully in the frame. But how you doing, Erin?
I'm good.
Good.
Yes.
I tell you, this young lady is 23 years old, and boy, she has made my life interesting. She has made my life interesting. And there's her information at the bottom. She doesn't have a Facebook page. Well, she had one, but she can't remember how to get into it. And so we've not been able to get her Facebook page, but she's on Instagram. And so I'm so proud of her for finishing. How does that feel?
It feels like I've accomplished something.
You have.
I know, but I did not want to finish. So
yeah, there were times that, and we'll talk about this real quick, that, she didn't want to finish school. She called me in her sophomore year. I think it was her sophomore year. She was like, I'm done. I'm not doing school. I don't want to do it anymore. I don't think it's worth it. I'm not. And tell me what happened. Like what?
I'm just overwhelmed. School can be very overwhelming, even when you have support and things like that. So I can only imagine for people who don't have it. But for myself, I was just overwhelmed with classwork and keeping myself organized and anxiety, and with all that in the mix, I just didn't feel like school was for me. I was gonna figure something else out.
Yeah. So what changed there? Tell me what happened.
My mom told me I couldn't quit. So,
pretty much.
in the midst of her not letting me quit, I just realized that I wanted to finish too. Now being a mom to be, I'm glad that I finished, because it's something that I can share with my own child one day.
Yeah, I told her that's something that my husband and I always talked about, was just, complete it. I don't, just sometimes it's something about just finishing it. And so she came to me, she said she wanted to quit. And I was like, no, you're not going to quit. I'm sorry. You're not going to do it. You're going to keep pushing. You can do it. And I had to keep encouraging her. Even when she would call me, be like, Mom, I'm a little overwhelmed. I'm starting to feel overwhelmed. And I'd have to talk her through it. I had to talk her off the ledge. But we've had our struggles as a mom and a daughter, and, in things that we've had to deal with together. And she's had to deal with by herself, and then I had to deal with as a mom. So, it's one of those things that, I'm glad that she's sitting here with me. And of course, as moms would say, the older your children get, the more you're able to relate one to another. We'll talk about that a little bit with my guests. So we'll talk about that a little bit more. But she's so talented, and I'm so glad that she did not quit, but she finished, because she's super talented. And so I'm glad that she's sitting here. So listen, let's bring on our other guests. And so my first couple, mommy and daughter pair partners, I'm going to bring on, and one is, I told her she's a pro now. She's been on before. She was just on with me a couple weeks ago, the First Ladies edition. And I had to bring her back because she is not just an awesome First Lady, she's an awesome mother. And just watching her and seeing how she is with her children as well, I think it is, it's phenomenal that she could come back on. And then her daughter, I have known her since she was young, really young, and I've seen her blossom into a beautiful woman and a beautiful wife. And so I'm going to read just a little bit about Mahogany. Mahogany serves as the children's pastor at New Life in Christ Church in O'Fallon, Illinois, and is a training manager for International Network of Children's Ministries. She is a wife, daughter, lover of coffee and culture, and a loyal friend. And of course, I'm talking about also none other than First Lady Glenda Dudley, who is the First Lady of New Life in Christ. There they are. Hello, ladies.
Hi, everybody.
Hey, y'all, show them some love. Show them some love. We're so glad to have you guys. First Lady Glenda Dudley, Pastor Mahogany Dudley.
Hey.
And I know their name for you is, they call you, their loving name for you is Pastor Mo. Don't they call you that?
Yes, they do. They don't have a choice because I have the longest name of all time.
Listen, they've adopted me as CP. So a lot of times they call me CP. It's a lot easier to do that. So we'll call you. Are you okay with Pastor Mo today?
I'm fine with that.
Okay. Pastor Mo and First Lady, I'm so excited to have you two with us. I see Bishop is making comments on here already, so I'm gonna have to get him later on.
Just won't let us live, just being busy.
What'd you say?
I said just on here being busy.
Oh, he said we got a great panel. Yes, thank you, Bishop. Thank you, Bishop. We appreciate the love. We appreciate the love, and thank you for watching. And so let's go ahead and bring on our next group, mother and daughter pair. And they're saying hey to you guys, but our next mother and daughter pair. Now, this lady I have known since I was 19 years old. So I just turned 49. So I've known her 30 years. And a very long time. And I'm so excited that I'm still friends with her. And I get to have her and her beautiful daughter on with me. So I'm going to talk about Elder Terrace Thomas. She's an elder as assistant to pastor at Timothy Baptist Church in Athens, Georgia, under the senior leadership of Pastor Tracy Bowles. She is employed as a director of neighborhood engagement and family connections community in schools. And she is a parent aide with Social Empowerment Center with a chaplain with Marketplace Ministries. She serves as, now let me tell y'all, she serves as the director of Christian education of Athens District Full Gospel Baptist Church Fellowship. So she does a lot. She holds a bachelor's degree in education from Beulah Heights University. She graduated summa cum laude valedictorian, a master's degree from Christian education from Luther Rice, and a master's of science degree from youth development from Clemson University. The girl she always doing something. She's always educating. Ever since I've known her, she's been educating herself. Her daughter Drayden is employed with the Clark County School District, serving as first grade teacher at Barnett Shoals Elementary. She holds a bachelor's degree in education, emphasis in speech pathology from the University of West Georgia as well. And she has a master's of arts and teaching from Piedmont College. They are both a part of the AKA sorority. So I'm sure all the AKAs who are watching are going to be excited about these two AKAs I have on here. Although y'all, Daphne is a Delta. She's a Delta. She said, oh. Hey y'all, how you doing?
Hey,
Hey, so glad to have you guys with
doing
us.
well.
Yes, so glad to have you guys. We're excited too, and we're going to jump right in because I want to use up as much time as we can. I'm excited about all of you all and coming on, and all of you are from different areas and different places, and we're all in different stages of life. but we all have adult daughters now. Praise the Lord. So we'll start with First Lady and Pastor Mo. How would you all describe your relationship right now?
Okay, so I guess I'll go first. So I'm 33 for a point of reference.
Okay.
I'm in my Jesus age, but I ain't going nowhere. So anyway, I would describe it now, especially that I'm a wife. My mom is like a confidant and really a friend. She's like she's like a seasoned friend that I can call, and I call her almost every day. Well, it depends on the week. Sometimes I be busy, but she's really become a great friend of mine, I think, and a confidant. Yeah, I really enjoy where our relationship is now.
Awesome. What about you, First Lady? How do you feel about it? You know,
Mahogany is she is my friend. We have so much in common. She loves to cook. She is very creative, and I enjoy being around her because she has always just been a woman that was always confident in who she is, and that just it always makes me feel good to know that my daughter is so confident about who she is and her relationship with her father, her brother, her husband, and with the Lord.
Amen.
So we have a very good relationship now. Very good.
Good mom, good one. Terrence and Drayden, who wants to go first? How do you describe your relationship?
Let Drayden go first.
I think me and my mom have a great relationship most of the time.
Okay, Drayden, how old are you?
I'm 25.
Okay.
So I love my mom. I know that if I need something or if I need someone to talk to, if I'm in dire need of advice or if I'm really low, I know I could call on my mom. I know above all else, friends, no matter what, I know my mom is going to be there no matter what. Like I feel safe in that space. So I will say that.
Okay.
So yeah. What do you think, Mom?
I absolutely agree. I do think we have a beautiful relationship. I think it's a relationship that's maturing with time. Just as she's getting older, the relationship, I'm seeing the strength of the relationship. And partly because I was I parented with fear in the young years. And with that, there was a whole lot of control. I can honestly state that today. And so now that she's getting older and I'm getting older, life's experiences, I'm really enjoying the maturation of the relationship. And just like she said, I appreciate the safe space I have with her, not just as her mom, but as a female, as someone, a prayer partner. I appreciate the prayers that she would render to me, even though I'm in ministry. I appreciate the fact that I can rely on her to be there for me as well. So it's maturing. It's beautiful.
It's good. All right. Okay, Aaron, how do you feel our relationship is? What do you say?
I definitely can agree to the maturing part. I'm 23, so our relationship is a lot different than when I was 18.
Thank you, Jesus.
I value her opinion and her advice a lot more now that I'm older. She is probably my best friend, other than my boyfriend. I call my mom 4 or 5 times a day, so and I live right up the street. I need her for everything. I call her for advice. I call her when I don't know who does something and I need her to help me figure it out. I call her about everything. Yeah.
She texted me about something today, and my response was, Google it.
I still haven't Googled it because I'm going to ask her in person and see if she'll give me a different answer.
I don't know. Google it. Like, you Google everything else.
What's your mom? You know everything.
Oh, my God. I'm glad you all think that. I'm glad that we present that to you. I think what it is we've learned to be the source for the source. We don't know everything, but we kind of, because of our experience, we know which direction to point you. And we know how, because we've had those questions before too, we've had to figure it out, So, but yeah, that's what it is. I say that our relationship, if I have to answer the question about relationship, is definitely maturing, and that her being 23 and the things we've had to go through over the last year, especially, has helped us to grow and help because we were at I don't know if you guys get Mahogany and Drayden. And then, I think there was a place that she wanted my advice, but she didn't. It was a kind of a frustrating. She knew she needed it, but she didn't. And I knew she needed it, but she wasn't receiving it. So I think we are definitely growing. And as things occur, it helps us to grow closer because of the way we're learning to navigate through things. That's one of the things I think that helped us and helped me as a mom is to figure out how to navigate through it, because like Terrace, the control, and then remembering she's not 16 anymore. That was the hardest thing for me, with her being 23, when she went to college and still trying to, I'm still trying, I'm trying to control all of that, and realizing, like you said, First Lady, that, Pastor Mo has a mind of her own. She has a thought process of her own, and they're not going to always think just like us. And that is where we are right now, discovering the things that we do have in common and the things that we're not alike in, and respecting those things, because we think alike about a lot of things, but there's a lot of things I'm like, no, I can't get with you on that. Do y'all find that too?
Absolutely.
Absolutely. Like you had said something earlier about the tension of like wanting to follow the advice, but at the same time not. And I just feel like you reach a certain point where you're really trying to become your own woman, but at the same time, your gut knows that mom knows best. And so you're trying to navigate. I can remember trying to navigate that in my 20s, of like the tension between how am I growing and like wanting to do my own thing and wanting to do what I think is best versus what I think, like tapping on the shoulder, like mama knows best. But yeah. And then, too, what you just said, like you do sort of figure out, I think that was a key for me, figuring out the differences in our personality and then being able to celebrate her where she's at. That's probably been a journey for me over the past 5 years. Just being like, no, this is who she is, and I'm just going to celebrate that, as opposed to trying
not liking it.
No, it's supposed to not liking it, just celebrating it. Yeah,
because I feel like sometimes, when I would see things in her, I would be like, why she got to do that? Why she got to act like that? Why she got Terrace, I see First Lady Terrace, y'all, like, why? I know I taught her better than that. I know she knows that. She knows I don't like that. And we'll just use this one when she got her first tattoo. She came, she's like, Mom, I want to get a tattoo. And I was like, because we grew up with, you don't do that. And then I had to realize, she's different. Her thought process is different from mine, and I kept trying to make her me. She's not me. She's a part of me, but she's not me. Terrace, what are you saying? So you're shaking your head.
I absolutely agree. Thank you for that share, but I agree. And for me, it was probably the hardest. I'll be very honest. I've shared earlier that about parenting with fear, but it was also probably the most painful space for me too. She was 16 and making lots of requests that I was absolutely against. But she's very independent, always have been, extremely strong in her voice. I appreciate that. But when I would say no to something that she may have wanted, we ended up having strong dialogue, if you understand, really strong dialogue. And I could remember it was an extremely passionate night of that dialogue. And said to me, why are you living vicariously through me? And she yelled it. And so first of all, I'm thinking, how do you know what vicarious means? And why are you using it on me, right?
Right.
But it was the thing that broke my heart, but it also shook my reality and let me know that, ooh, Terrence, maybe you are trying to be you in your parenting, and this is not you. She's a whole individual, and so it shifted a lot for me. It had doesn't mean that I am fully agree, in full agreement on every decision she makes. But I appreciate that night when she shook the tree and leaves fell off, where she said, "Hey, quit trying to make me Terrence. I'm not." And so it's been interesting, and I appreciate her for that, because now some of the things she says, the way she lives, some of her conversation, I look at her now and I'm like, wow, I wish I could have been as strong when I was 25. Oh, I wish I had that level of knowledge, that knowledge base when I was 25. So I still may be trying to do some vicarious living after all. But I remember how that shook my reality.
First Lady, what do you want to say?
Well, we have had some very trying times early on, to the point of just not really liking each other, not at all. And I thank God for a husband that would referee, because things were never going to be resolved unless he stepped in.
We're laughing because we know exactly what you mean.
She has always been that type of person, even from the time that she started to walk and talk. She was very, very much her own little person.
I do it myself.
You don't say it like that. You only 2 years old and you trying to tell me how to talk. Even from a small little toddler, Muhammad has always been one of these that, this is the right way. And she's always been very self-sufficient, and, and I appreciate that about her. And I've looked at her, I've watched her, and just trying to see her as a wife now. She's been married over 3 years now. I still haven't grasped that yet, but she's doing an excellent job with that. But she is, Mahogany is a very, I am woman. Hear me
roar.
You can like what I do or not. This is who I am.
It's so funny because they are really, we say they're not like us, but they are.
They are.
Because we are the same way. It's just that we were the adult and you're the child. And so, I used to tell her all the time, I think you forgot who's the child and who's the adult. That used to be, we've had some of those, like, as Terrence, we say, intense or passionate conversations, that it was just, or either when she was in college, that was the other thing. And I tried to tell her something. It got to the point where either she hang up or I hang up, because I'm just like, I cannot, like, I'm not, you're not listening. And she used to always say this thing, you're not listening to me. I said, and my comment, I don't know if you always say this, I am listening to you. I'm just not saying what you want me to say.
Yep.
She wasn't listening. She always said, you ain't listening. And I'm like, I am listening. You just not, and so it has been, that's one of the questions. How did you get through the challenges that you have faced or have had to face and are facing? I will start, while you all think about that. And a lot of people know that, Erin is pregnant, and my first grandbaby is due in a couple of weeks, about 3 weeks. And so, but I have to say, because when Erin called me, Erin's not married, but when she called me, what happened?
She said, I can't do this right now. And she hung up. And I
Wow.
Because like
I could.
I was so hurt because I called her back. So I was like, Mom, I need to talk to you. Like, you're the person that I talk. Like, who am I supposed to talk to right now? And she was like, you just need to tell your daddy. I can't do this right now. And she didn't talk to me for like 2 days, 3 days.
Y'all looking at me like, what? So seriously, this is the reality of it. When she told me it was my mother was ill. I had just fired somebody on that Friday. I walked into and hired a new lady who was coming in because I was smart. I hired a new person before I fired the other one. So I had the new lady coming in on Monday morning. Or Tuesday, was after the holiday. I go to walk into the office, and the other girl, one of my other girls had been, she had gotten moved away, her husband PCS. And so I had a replacement for her that had been training for 2 weeks. She meets me at the door, gives me her keys and says, I quit. My new lady walks in and says, good morning. She tells me, I think I'm pregnant. No, she said, no, that afternoon she said, I'm pregnant. I couldn't deal with it. I'm like, I can't, but I was like, I cannot deal with it. I think this is the first time we've ever really kind of talked about openly. I was hurt. I was mad. I was all of these different emotions, and I didn't have anything to give her. And I know as a mother, you're thinking, and I remember the next morning my husband came in, he goes, have you talked to Aaron? I said, I can't talk to Aaron. He goes, you can't say that to her. She's going to need you. And it took the Holy Spirit, y'all, to really deal with me, to really, because, as a mom, you want the best for them. As a mom, you're young, what in the world, you're not married, just all this stuff. We, raised her up in this way and all of these different things. And I'm wrestling with all of that. We pastor a church and all that. You got all this stuff going on in your mind. And it took me getting before God to be able to deal with the situation and to deal with her, to deal with my daughter. I had to come to the realization that regardless of what happens, she's my child. She's my child. And the Holy Ghost began to, after everything that I began to, and I'm sorry, I need to cry, but the Holy Ghost began to tell me, he said, how dare you talk about what can't happen? Who are you? Because I kept saying, oh God, she don't have this. And he was like, you talk all this faith, but now when it comes to your child, you don't have it. He had to deal with me and how to love her in the midst of this. And so that challenge, when I tell y'all, it took the Holy Ghost, because she was like, she thought I was gonna never talk to her again. But I did. And then once I embraced it, And that's why, now I can be joyful about my grandbaby, and I can be, help her through, even when she was sick, trying to get through school. I'm trying to make sure you're okay. When she came back here because of all this stuff that's going on with the pandemic, making sure she's set up and helping her in the process. The old way it would have been beat her down.
Right.
Tell all these things,
Right.
but I had to keep loving her through. I mean, how do you feel about that? Because that's how I'm being very transparent about one of the most recent challenges we had.
Yeah, I mean, my feelings are really hurt because I needed my mom. Like, I don't know who else you would turn to, I guess, in a situation like that. But once she called me back, and she's been my support through everything, like helping me understand my body changing and helping me find clothes that fit, and feeding me, and just being there for me. I can honestly say she hasn't made me feel guilty or feel bad about the decision. She let me know that we're not gonna do it again, but she helped me to feel confident in myself, because I dealt with all the things that she was dealing with. I was dealing with them too. Like, oh my gosh, my parents are pastors. Like, oh my gosh, how am I gonna go back home? Like, all these other thoughts that I had going on, and she was my support through all of that. She helped me to love myself and to not give up on everything that I dreamed of doing and my goals.
And one of the things I told her, I said, listen, you having this baby and you're going to be a mom, but you're still a woman and you still have dreams, you still have desires, you still have ways, I still want you to keep going. And so, it's one of the things I continually tell her, you don't stop there, you keep going, you bring another strong woman into this world, and we need to show her how to be another strong woman, how to keep going. And so that has been one of the challenges. So Terrace, Drayden, tell us about a challenge that you all had to get through.
Well, I guess I would say high school, because high school was really tough. It was really tough just because being in the church, being raised in the church, and not saying that I didn't have a free life, that, I wasn't exposed to things, because I was. My parents exposed me to things and everything. But growing up and peer pressure and being around other people, and it's just finding that balance of who I want to be and what was spoken on to me, and what was, I can't explain it, like just what life was breathed into me, who I know I was, who my parents told me who I was, my relationship with God and all of that. So it was a lot going on, 16, 17, 18. Those were some rough years for my mom and I. But I think as I've gotten older, and now that I am a woman, a growing woman, I see my mom as a woman with the child, not thinking of her as my mom, but as a woman who had a child who she loved very much, and losing her mom and how that can affect her. Because when you're in it, when you're 16, you're 17, you're just a teenager. You're not thinking of it that way. Now that I'm 25, I see where my mom is coming from. Now that I want children of my own one day, want to be a wife, I see where she's coming from. It didn't make it, doesn't make it go away or anything like that. But you understand now as a woman where your mom was coming from, and you become more empathetic, more sympathetic from the situation. You just become more understanding. So I feel like with time, growing up, seeing my mom as a woman, that has helped a lot. And her seeing me grow up and do the things that I'm doing and working and everything, I think that has helped too. So
Okay, Terry.
I fully agree. I'm sitting here. I want to thank you, CP, co-pastor. I called you P back in the day. I appreciate what you're providing to Aaron and the world at large and the church world, all of that. I just want to thank you for that. That's an authentic love that many times us in the church, the preacher, this is how I've gotten through it. I'm taking that to answer it. Many times once you're brought in and you're engaged in this role as preacher, minister, public in the church, many times for me, I had to learn to apologize. It took me growing up as a mom with my daughter, and then going back looking at some of that and having to apologize to my daughter for some of that, because truthfully, during those years that she's identified, that 16, 17, 18 year period it was rough for us. For me, I was more controlling then, because I remembered what I was like at 15, 16, 17, 18. And so I didn't want my daughter falling into the trap, right? And so to see some things and her mirror some of that, it just caused great issue. And so I absolutely had to take some time to pay attention to that and go back and apologize to her. And I have to be very honest, I am still apologizing. In one of my roles, I do parenting classes. And very often I'm teaching a concept and I'm convicted.
Wow.
And so my daughter's 25, but every now and again, I find myself having to tell her, I'm sorry. I absolutely allow my role to control some of my comments, and I'm very sorry about that. But I also had to have enough tough skin and to be appreciative of others who were in our lives who provided her with that. So she said those years were rough for us, and I could remember there were years where I was the youth pastor, and so here I'm the youth pastor, and I'm providing this authentic stuff to everybody else's child. But it would bother me when the same thing happened with my child.
Right.
So God convicted me and said, "How dare you?
How dare you?"
be that way with somebody else's. And if this other young lady called you with this same issue, you're going to take care of it. And I did. And so I had to apologize for that. But I have to admit, I couldn't apologize that day. You know, it just, I cried after she went to bed. You know what I'm saying? I labored after she closed her door. But I'm also grateful for the village. And I thank God for Denise Williams and Paula Halbert, who provided Drayden with those things that I wasn't providing. Or, you know, I appreciate the space where she could go with them, their friends, their connections, and they're a family. And so even though she didn't bring it to me, I still got it. Because Denise told me. She may not have told me the day Drayden came to her, but she let me know, girl, I am going to parent her the way you want her parented. And so I still got it. And I used to chuckle. I used to cry initially, like, wow, she's going to talk to somebody else about her intimate situation. I was being a little bit bothered on that end. And then once, you know, Denise said, well, I'm going to always tell you. Then I used to say, child, go on, run on over there and tell her. You know, because in the end, it's going to be okay. And I'm happy. Denise is with the Lord now. And I thank God for her all the time. And so, yeah, it was rough, but just a lot of apologies and appreciation to God for giving us this space to be here today.
Awesome. First Lady, Pastor Mo, tell us, how do you get through your challenges? You're 33, Mo, and I'm sure, like Pastor Mo, and I'm sure you're like, ooh, you know, how did you guys get through it?
You know, oddly enough, I have this memory that is fading now of the challenges that we went through. Most of the challenges that we experienced was in my teen years, which, I mean, teenagers think they know
everything.
So
I need something
and don't know nothing. I tell you that all the time.
And so you know, like, it's like I remember those times, but I don't at the same time. I guess my mind has just chosen to drop that off somewhere. But back off of what Drayden said in regards to seeing your mom as a woman, like, even the times where I'm just like, she just doesn't understand me, because we have a love and appreciation for one another, but we have very different personalities. So, but what she said about like appreciating, wait, what did she say?
Seeing her as a woman.
Oh, seeing her as a woman. There you go. Seeing her as a woman, I feel like that is, if there's been anything that's helped me to overcome any tension that was there, it's been that. And me being a very, very independent woman, or just not very, like, I don't share a whole lot. If there were things that I was really struggling with, a lot of times that would just be between me and the Lord. Like, they would not know, or she would not know what I was really dealing with, whether it be in terms of her relationship, my relationship with her, or anything else, because I just kind of took that to the Lord and managed it. But I'm learning as I get older how important it is to be able to share and be open with your parents. But anyway, a lot of the real struggles and knockdown dragouts we had were really in my teen years, and I don't know, I have selective memory.
I bet your mom remembers.
He's the only one that helped us get through that.
First Lady.
Well, this is actually the first time that I am sharing this. Mahogany, we keep talking about her independence. She is so independent that when it came time for her to plan a wedding, I was excluded. You know, not on purpose, but because she's so doggone independent.
She did.
This is not I want it, and I don't need anybody else. I know what I want. So, you know, it kind of hurt at first that, well, all I need you to do is do the shower. I started to say, well, doggone it, I'm not even going to do that. I'm not
I had no idea. By the way,
I gotta release it. I gotta let it out.
Release it, release
I
it,
love it.
release
I gotta
it.
let it be delivered today. But after a while, I thought about it. This is who she is. This is who she's always been. It was nothing against me, nothing against our relationship, but this is who my daughter is. So after a while, I started celebrating. Hey, I don't have to deal with Bridezilla. You know, she may would have been something like that, but like, okay, all right, you can work with this. So she did everything. She and Travis did everything. I just sat back and did the shopper and life was
And
good.
let them do it.
Yeah.
And see, that's why you have to talk about things, because in my mind, I was like, I don't want to stress anyone else out. I feel like this is super stressful because, we got engaged in July, and then we got engaged in July, and we were planning on getting married that subsequent March. So in my mind, I was like, oh, no one else needs to be stressed out about this because we're trying to get married in less than a year of us being engaged. So I didn't want to stress you out. But, wow. That's
You
good.
now you know. Mama's
Now you know.
Right.
I guess it took me 3 years, y'all. It took me 3 years.
3 years to get.
Woo!
I'm feeling the release. Bless the Lord. Listen, listen, I'm gonna tell y'all what. I'm not gonna have to worry about with this one because she do everything. She like I bought her a rental house and I let her move into the house. I bought it for her so she could settle in there. And this child has even like Aaron. Let's pick out stuff. Whatever you pick, Mama's good.
You don't have that problem.
I'm like,
Yeah.
I'm sending her stuff. Like, will you look at this? No, if you think it looks good, it's fine.
I don't have the energy.
I guess with her being pregnant, she probably just don't have the energy. But it's been like, now look, I'm not gonna do everything, so I've got the opposite.
She's good at that kind of stuff, and I feel like if that's where the Lord has blessed you,
Don't bring that in. Don't get spiritual.
Interfere with the talents that God has given you.
Oh, now she want to be all deep, right? Yeah. Now she want to be all deep. But yes, I think the whole premise of this conversation is to let people, every woman who's on here, know that we've all had struggles and challenges as mother-daughter, as mother-son. We all have sons. We don't have our sons on here, so we've had challenges and still continue to have challenges. My son is 21, so we're still at that age and still walking through that age with him. But we all have these struggles, and you see us now, and you're like, oh my God, look at the mom and daughter, and then sometimes it's like, because you don't like them, and you said that, First Lady, there would have been times that you just don't like them, and I'm sure they don't like us. Can y'all daughters, you say yes to that?
Yeah, I really didn't like you when I was in high school.
You all liked us when you were in high school. Yeah, you didn't like us because you knew everything and we knew nothing. So so you just didn't like us.
Yeah.
And then I went to college and I still had the idea that I didn't want to hear nothing she had to say. So
it gets better with time, and after a while you learn to appreciate the wisdom that your mother has, the years that she's spent living and experiencing different things. The older you get, the more you learn to appreciate what your mother has to offer. So just keep going, just keep working with it, keep sharing with one another and allowing her to continue to speak into your life, and it gets better. Mahogany is 33 now, and it just the relationship, we have not had any recent anything that we have bumped heads about. We have a very best friend kind of a relationship,
Yeah.
I call you my BFF all the time.
Listen, until I say something she don't like, and then she like, all right, Mom, I'm gonna go. And it's good because somebody asked me, they were like, she's not gonna stay with you and she has a baby. I said, no, she's a grown woman and she needs her own space. And when she gets on my nerve, I need to be able to send her somewhere. When I get on her nerve, she needs to be able to go somewhere. So
Right.
let me say this too. First Lady was talking about, and I have to say this to the daughters, and I'm sure all of your mothers can say the same thing, is that as well as you all can learn from us, we are learning from you as well.
Right.
I know
Right.
I'm learning.
Absolutely.
Aaron teaches me things all the time. I mean, even little things. I was
Like how to put lashes on.
I don't have them on now, but y'all.
I have to say something about the last thing.
Go ahead, and Jane, tell us the last story.
We did virtual awards for our kids, and I had my lashes on. My mom called me and was like, "Oh, I like them. You should do mine Friday for the thing. I don't know anything about it." I'm like, "Okay, I'll do it." She was like, "Yeah, I don't know anything about that kind of stuff." So she calls me while I was getting ready to come over here. It was like, "Oh, you got my lashes?" And I'm like, "No, I'm going to put them on for you. Why did I go to the store and get them for you?" That was a trigger. When you said that, Aaron,
What does yes, I'll do it mean?
I'm gonna put them
Yes, I'll take care of it.
no.
Well, you knew, but she said she didn't know anything about
Thank
that.
you.
She wouldn't even know how to go buy lashes.
That's
I
what
told her
you
that.
while you're at the store. That's what you did.
Well, I did because I had intentionally.
Call and say, "Okay, I'm here. What do let's just move on."
I walked into the bathroom.
No,
and
we need
she
to
had the
deal
lash
with this.
upside down, trying to put it on her eye. And I'm like, "Mom, if you just look at it, they're set literally for you to just take it and put it on your eye."
It didn't click in my head. I can do it now, though. It took a little practice now. So, Drayden, go to the store. Now, listen, Aaron, I went purposefully to go get lashes when I went to go get them. I don't have them on now, but I went to go get them. And I asked her to show me because if I don't know anything about it, she has to show me what to buy.
I have to YouTube.
That would have been fine. My mom asking me to do them for her. I did not know she expected me to go to the store to buy the lashes. I did not know all of that was expected as well. I just thought she wanted me to put them on, or if she wanted to get the lashes, I thought she would have called him like, "Okay, where do I go to get lashes or something?" I didn't know that was.
We're still learning.
Part to it.
Maturing. We're
Okay.
maturing. We're
Huh?
maturing.
We're maturing. We're learning. You can see right now how that little bit of this miscommunication, what you think and what we think are totally different. Aaron has a way of doing this thing. I'll say, tomorrow I'm going to cook, let's say I'm going to cook tacos tomorrow. She goes, "Oh, so you're inviting me over?" I said, "No, I'm cooking tacos." She said, "Well, I heard when you tell me what you're cooking, I heard you're inviting me."
Yeah,
That's not what I said.
Why would you tell me what you're having for dinner if I'm not invited?
Yeah, so the way we think is two different things. But I was saying that you all teach us to, not just with, I say the lashes, but not just that. You all teach us to think differently.
Yeah.
We are women, and I'm so glad you said that, Drayden. You see your mom as a woman, but we see you all as young women as well, and we see how you tackle things, how you handle challenges, how you handle adversity that may come in your life, or things that you don't know how to do, or how you have the confidence to do stuff that we're sitting back like, whoa, like, wow, you guys are really doing that. So you teach us as well. And so I think it's a give and take that, if I respect you now as my daughter, as a woman, I now see you, because just like you guys had to see us as a woman, we're now seeing you guys, you ladies, as women. You see, but it's harder for us because you were our babies.
Yeah.
You're welcome.
That's a hard trend. You guys were babies that grew up to women and see us as women. We will always see you. I don't care how old you are. She can ready to have a baby and she's still my baby.
You don't be worried about me.
I do.
No, she don't.
I do. Yes, I do. I just worry about my grandbaby more now. But anyway. So we see you but you'll always be our baby. So it's just harder for us to flip that switch because we know you're grown and we know you're women, but you're our child. We birthed you. We had to help, develop you and help keep you safe. And even if it was controlling terrorists, and even if it was, we had to do that for you guys. So, that's that. I think that's a difficulty that we have sometimes. Moms, would you agree?
Mhm.
Absolutely, Frida. I mean, co-pastor. Sorry. Um, I absolutely agree with that because for me, and I'm very emotional, extremely passionate, very emotional. My daughter is as well, but she doesn't express it as quickly or as strong as I do sometimes. And so I can remember, as a mother, as I grew into the space to be authentic, a bit more authentic and expressive with her, I can remember telling her I had to realize for me, Drayden, I'm thankful for my son. I mean, I got custody of my son when he was 2, but Drayden was she's my only pregnancy and the only baby I birthed naturally. And so to me, Drayden was this prize from God. And she still is this gift from God. And so I could remember looking at this baby saying, wow, God, this is my baby. This is my God. This girl is so pretty. I just, she was just
Oh,
everything to me. She was just like we're the apple of God's eye. That's who she was to me and still is. But I could remember God telling me and he used to say it all the time. Abraham, give me your Isaac. Give me your Isaac. Give me your Isaac. And all the time. And then one day the Lord was like, give Drayden to Drayden. Will you please pass her on that stuff? You're holding her back. And it was because it's just what you said, co-pastor. It's because it's like, this is my baby. And for me, it was
baby.
like, this is my good thing. This is my beauty. This is my joy. This is my God gift. And I don't want anybody to mess that up, including Drayden. I don't want Drayden to mess that up. And that was really that was the reality for me. And but it was also that place where I made the paradigm shift and said she's God's, and if she messes it up, just like I messed Terrace up, God will help fix it again. God will help her fix it, and it's been a joy to watch that process too.
Yeah, I think we got to give each other that space.
I was gonna say, I don't know about you guys, but as a daughter, although I didn't always like everything my mom said, once I experienced certain things, like in high school and in college, and looking back, I appreciate it, even though the delivery may have been a little not where I would have wanted it to be.
Watch this. What was wrong with my delivery?
I love it. That I see that I have friends who don't have their mothers anymore, or they didn't have mothers growing up, and that I appreciate the things that my mom was able to pour into me, that I can look back and be like, I remember when she told me this, and it has helped me grow into the woman that I am. So, we didn't always get along, but I still remember things, even the things that came out in the heat of the moment, that have stuck with me, even to this day.
Yeah.
So,
Terrence, I know that you lost your mom when you were young.
Mhm.
You lost your mom at very young age. I saw Daphne posted that she misses because her mother passed away when she was young. And so, I am so blessed to still have my mom. She's still living. First Lady, your mother is still here, and we're blessed to have that. And I'm like you. I appreciate the wisdom, that I get from my mother. How did you? And we got to go in a minute, but I just want to know, Terrence, how did you and help those, because that was one of the comments that came up, that there are some women who have, didn't have their mothers are gone when they were young. And Daphne posted, and I know she has 2 young daughters herself, and she's trying to raise them. Her grandmother raised her. Help those women out there who, may have lost their mother young. How old were you when your mom passed away?
I was 3 when my mom was brutally murdered by a boyfriend. But I was more than blessed to be raised by my mom's sister, my aunt. So I say mama, she's my mom because she raised me. But even though I had that blessing to be raised by my mom, my heart has always missed my mom. And so the difficulty there is the fact that that is a hole that only God can fill. And the truth be told, it's a whole. And so there's a consistent, you got to keep going to God to have him feel it. He is indeed mother to the motherless and father to the fatherless. But it's a space where your worship is authentic, it's pure, and you'll be blessed because of it. It's who you are. He knows best. God knows best. But as a parent, that gap, that break in my heart was also why I parented the way I did with Drayden. And in my head, I would always say, but Drayden, but Drayden, you don't know what it means to not have this or what have you.
Yeah.
And then and so there were times she made decisions and I'd be home, crying about it because my heart, I didn't have that she had. And I can remember, in fact, while she was at West Georgia one night, we were talking passionately, and she said to me, Ma, I understand you didn't have your mom, but I always had mine. She said, I've always had my mom, and I get it. I understand, and I'm praying, but quit handling me so much like that because you've always been there. And so some of what you're thinking I'm experiencing, I'm not, because I've not experienced that. And that too was really helpful and illuminating. It helped me so much in that way. But for the parent, the mother who doesn't have a mother, you are that mother. For the parent who doesn't have that mom, you've got an aunt, you've got a grandmother. Appreciate that blessing, the benefit there, and I do. But don't shake the fact that you don't have it, and grieve where you need to grieve. My daughter prayed for me the other night, and one of the things she said was, "Ma, I know how you feel about not having my mom." One day we were both arguing about something, not against each other, but together. And she said the same thing. She said, people handle me like I'm always so strong, when the truth of the matter, I've never met my grandmother. That's what she said. And it came out so quick. And then God showed me that just like you didn't have your mom, she doesn't have her grandma. And so connect on those things and allow the Lord to give you the strength, because he is joy in sorrow.
Yes.
He's a strength. He is our strength. And then you connect in those spaces. And so I just had to realize and handle Drayden in that way. She's always had her mom. I didn't have mine, but she's always had her mom. And so I have to respect that with her, and just press in worship individually as the person. And I share that even with my pastor. I just find myself, it's just a beautiful space of worship for me. But yeah, it's not easy. It's difficult. And even now, it's Mother's Days, and don't deny that mothers who don't have your mom, even those of us in the church, you're strong, you're preaching to everybody. If your heart aches, go through the aching. I do every year, but now instead of the process I did when I was 8 and 10 and 12 and 17, 19, at 52, I don't have her. She's not here, but man, there's a whole lot of her that is still here.
Yeah.
So, yeah.
I see. Yeah, the comments are coming up, and people said I miss my mom and my grandmother. Cherish those moments, and
Absolutely.
we want to encourage. We're having this dialogue with mothers and daughters, but we all want to cherish the moms that we have. And appreciate Aaron saying that. That you do learn to appreciate it. Sometimes
Absolutely.
you just don't, and you don't want it to be where they're gone before you appreciate it.
Absolutely.
We do want to do that. I want to shout out my mom. I appreciate her so much. That she's always taught us. And 4 girls. Terrence, remember my mom, and we lived next door to each other. Well, we lived upstairs, or you live in the next building. You live in the building.
Next door upstairs.
And our eating together and growing up together. But I appreciate that. Mahogany, I know you appreciate your mother and your grandmother. That you have that wisdom in both. Those in that. So appreciate when you have it, because those it's kind of hard, like you said, when you go back. Aaron would say, she would come call me up and she would say, Mom, thank you so much for teaching me this. I remember her freshman year, she was like, thank you for so much for teaching me how to be a considerate person.
I can't stand inconsiderate.
She's like, because there's some inconsiderate people out here. You just, the things you taught me. I'm just thankful for the fact that you taught me how to carry myself, or you taught me how to, do little things. And so, when she would call back, I don't know, moms, first lady, Terrence, if you always say, when she would call me and say that, I'd be like, oh, thank you, Jesus. She learned something. Thank you, Lord.
Yes.
Oh Lord, she learned something. She heard
Yes.
after all that yelling, she picked up something, and so I'm grateful for that. And one more question: have any of you daughters have you ever said, okay, there was some advice I should have listened to that my mom gave me?
I'll let y'all go first.
Anything?
That I should have listened to.
Yeah, anything that you might like said, I probably should have listened to her on that one. That you didn't.
Y'all need a minute? You want me to go first?
I don't.
So y'all pretty much took advice from your mom?
Yeah, I mean,
I'm trying to think of what I did.
I was wondering this question and thinking, like where I might not have listened. If anything, this is not super deep, but I don't know, save your money.
That's a good one. That's a good one.
It's not deep. It's not profound.
Doesn't
But
have to be.
Yeah, save your money. Save your money so you can have things. Save.
Okay.
And so, yeah, I'm a spender, and so, yeah, but there's probably something that I didn't listen to, but that comes to mind. I was thinking I had a tough time with this question, but
Okay.
that's what I would say.
Okay, Jaden, what are you gonna say?
It probably was like relationship advice with the guy or something like that. My mom was like, "You need to leave that boy alone."
Oh, that's true. That's true.
Over him.
Yeah.
Leave him alone. And I was like, he loved me.
Yeah, that part.
So much, and we're gonna work this out.
Right. And it didn't. Because your mama, both of y'all know y'all got them praying mamas. They see stuff in the spirit, they like, no.
So that probably was like, that's what I see most is my mom like, that doesn't sound right. That doesn't sound like somebody that cares for you or loves you or something. Because I will say, growing up, my mom and my aunts really preached, and this is going back on what Erin was saying, what I'm thankful for what my mom taught me. Like, I was taught to be confident in who you are. You're very beautiful. You're black. Black is beautiful. You have big lips. People pay for lips like yours. You know what I'm saying? Like, my mom really preached to me, you are beautiful. You are everything. And then some, you are, that. So in those spaces with the man in a relationship, when I would diminish my value, just hear my mom like, you don't know who you are. Like, don't forget who you are. And me brushing it to the side when really and truly I should have said, you know what, that's right, because it does nick at you after a while when you are in those places and you're not being uplifted how you used to be. So
Yeah,
that's what I would say.
Yeah, that's good.
Amen.
Okay.
Mine goes back to like middle school and high school. My mom used to tell me, I don't know why you care so much what them girls think about you. Because when you graduate, you ain't gonna be thinking about them. And I could never, as much as I like was confident in myself, I also found myself caring about what other people thought. And now that I look back on it, like
you haven't seen it since you graduated.
I do not care at all. And I just wish that I had grasped it then. It probably would have saved me a lot of stress and even heartbreak from friendships in middle school and high school. That she was a tough cookie. She was like, I don't know why you care so much. I don't know why you crying. I don't know why you letting them get you all in your feelings, because you ain't even gonna be.
They didn't have a sympathetic ear for you, Aaron.
Oh no. No. I got the tough love over here.
Yeah, I remember one day she came home with the ninth grade. She's crying about this little boy in her. I was like, all right, I'm gonna give you about 15 minutes. Go. All right, stop all that now. Come on. He's not worth all those tears. No.
Literally 15 minutes.
And it was really not to be tough on her, but to try to explain to her that he did not deserve that much of you. Yeah. He was not, and I understand the sympathy, I was like, give you time, get it out, but don't let him keep dragging that out of you. He's got to stop at some point. He got to stop being in control of your heart that way. And that was really what I was trying to teach her. I probably didn't do it all right. And I think that's one of the questions we had for the moms, and with our last question, something that we think we could have done better. I think I could have probably been a little bit softer emotionally. because I'm tough like that. I'm tough like that. I'm like, and I've always been that way. I'm like, you like me or don't, I don't care. But since a little girl, I've been that way. But I couldn't. I tried to parent her that way, and that's not who she was. A little bit more emotional, a little bit more passionate than I was about things, and so I'd be like, you say, why are you crying? Like, stop crying about that. I didn't cry about stuff like that. Why are you crying about stuff like that? So that would one of the things that I think I could have been more sensitive in those areas, having a daughter and maybe, not being so tough all the time. I think my heart was to teach her to be a strong Black woman, a strong woman. And sometimes I did not do that all the right way, because sometimes you can do it and damage them at the same time. So I have to say those one of the things that I think I could have done better to help develop that side of her and help her emotions to develop a little bit more, so she can help learn how to control her emotions, but not beat her down. First Lady?
Well, my thing was going back still to Mahogany and her being such an aggressive and, just the type of person that's just over the top, knowing everything. Just, I just did not like her. I didn't like her. Okay. When I took her to college, I could have just opened the van door and threw her and her stuff out, and I would have done that. But I wish that I had done differently. In that was to just accept who she is, because she has a lot of her father in her. She's her father's child. And Copaz, Bishop.
Yes, she looked like it too.
Yes. So it was just, if I could have could go back and do something different, it would be to love her more in the place that in the person that she was. And
That's good. That's good. Terrence, what would you have done differently?
I would have done the very same thing as First Lady stated. I would have been more focused on her as opposed to me giving her what she needed. So I thought, but also I would have, I needed to have been more sensitive in the way I spoke to my daughter, because I'm loud, I'm strong, and I have a very strong voice. And so there were times I said, it may have been a loving statement, but it didn't come out lovingly. And so I really regret some of the way I said some things. In fact, she used to say all the time, why are you fussing? And I would say, I'm not fussing. I'm just passionate. I used to say that all the time. And she would say, well, you need to look at your face when you say that, because your face says something different. And so with that, I would also state that if I had to do it over again, I would do better by taking care of Terrace, because I was a parent and I was a broken mom, and I didn't focus on me. I would have worked on Terrace so that I could have given her a better mom. And so if I could do it over again, I'll take care of Terrace a little bit better. I would have gone to therapy long before I did, so that I could provide her with a much better role model sooner.
That's good. That's good. Wow, ladies, this has been so good. We're over an hour. I gotta go. We are. It's been good conversation, and I'm looking at the comments. I don't see any questions on here. If you have questions, throw them up real quick. But I don't see any questions on here. It has been just awesome. Thanks for joining me, Erin.
You're welcome.
Yes.
Of course,
And to you mother and daughter duos, y'all powerhouses, that it has been a pleasure. I know you guys have helped. You can go back and watch some of the comments if you haven't. You have helped so many women and mothers, and I saw a couple of them like, thank you, I need that. My daughter's only 3, or my daughter's only 4, or I need that right now, because and I pray that what we shared as mothers and daughters will help mothers of the things we said we could do better. I hope they heard that. And I hope that the daughters who are on here are listening from the daughter's perspective, and see your mom as a woman, see her as that her heart is just the best. And if we've never done this before, okay? We mess up. We've never done this before, and you know, Erin, you're about to be a mom, so you're about to see. We've never done this before. When you become a mom, when you have your own children, ladies, you know, Drayden and Pastor Mo, you know, when you guys become moms, Erin, when you become a mom, you know, remember the great things about your mom and model yourself after those, and still love her for the things she didn't get right, but do something different for your children. And not in a way, you know, when I say, you know, like even with my mom, my mom didn't do everything right, but I never say, I'm never going to do this like her, because I don't ever want to put her down in that way. Because my mom did what she knew. She was young and she did what she knew was best for us. So I don't want to ever put down the effort that she made, good or bad. You know, your mom did what she could. My mom did what she could. So when you become moms, you know, when you're talking to your children about your mother, the good, the bad, the ugly, but don't be in a place where you think that, you know, I just can't ever do the things like my mom, because you're here and you're a great woman, and that had something to do with your mom.
Right.
Amen.
Right.
We didn't get, look at T sitting up. You did. You know, we didn't get it all right. But if you're like me, Terrace and First Lady, you look at your daughter and say, I didn't mess up too bad.
Absolutely.
So my
Yes,
daughter,
Lord.
Amen.
Yes, Lord.
I messed up,
Absolutely.
but she is the woman that she is, and she's the woman that she's going to be with the help of God. And I have to say, I think I did a little bit with that. What y'all say? Come on, put your own mic.
Yes, yes,
You
yes,
think
yes,
so?
yes, yes.
Celebrated for the
Oh,
things, you know, that you've done. We could be sitting here wondering where our daughters are,
whew.
you know. So
Hallelujah.
every day I give God thanks for you know, for my child and my, you know, my son as well, because we are blessed.
Man.
Yes,
Blessed,
we are blessed.
Lord, to have these awesome daughters.
Yes,
You know,
and she said, there's
all
no
have,
parenting manual,
yeah.
just Jesus and the joy of being the blessing of the gift that God has given you. And so you all, from your mom, I'm sure, and from, you know, your mom, you all are our gifts. I agree with you, Terrace. When you look at your daughter and say, God gave me this beautiful girl, you know,
Absolutely.
or my handsome son. God
Yes.
gave us gave you all to us, and we are so grateful for that. And we do things a lot of the times, like you said, Drayden, our face don't look like it, but we do love y'all. My tone may not always say it, but we do it out of love. There is nothing that we've
Absolutely.
ever done to hurt you. I can say that if I messed up, I didn't do it intentionally to hurt you. And so I'm so glad that you guys are on with me. I don't see any questions popping up, just comments. Thank you all for sharing with us. Everybody said we had some
you.
awesome conversations. I want y'all to remember wait. First, I got to do this real quick. Thank you to all of our partners, for face-to-face partners that have partnered with me to be able to bless people. We've blessed people on every show, and now I'm going to bless 2 other people. Those are all of our partners, and I'm going to bless 2 more people today. Who's going to get blessed today? We're each going to $50 gift card. There we go. Ashley Walker and Kalicia Roundtree. Congratulations. You are today's giveaway winners. You get $50 cash app. That's what I normally do, $50 cash app. So you can go buy yourself some groceries or something like that. And I want to thank you all for partnering with us, those of you who have. And so we're blessing y'all this week. And we just want to, if you need help, you can text this number. You can text 855-805-7002. And then they'll send you a form and you can fill it out to be entered into the giveaway for our next one. If you want to partner with us, you can cash out Freida Speaks and just put it in there for the giveaways. And if you want to be able to partner to bless someone, you can do that. But we try to do it every week as the funds are there. We're going to continue to bless somebody. And thank you all so much. Join me next week, because next week, the 15th, I'm going to talk about the beauty of friendship. And I am going to have some of my friends that I've known since I was 10 years old.
Wow.
Awesome.
Good.
And we're still friends today. and I'm going to discuss that, discuss things with my friends Charlene McGee, Donna Pearson, Sylvia Austin, and Hester McLeod. Have been my friends since I was 10 years old, so I was in the 5th grade. And so we're going to talk about the beauty of friendship next weekend. I'm so grateful for them, and I'm so grateful to you. We love y'all. Pastor Mo,
Thank
you. Love you. Mwah.
Drayden and Terrace,
Bye.
y'all hang around afterwards. You know, we always have to do our after the show discussion. But thank y'all so much. I love y'all. Thank you for being on with me. To all of you who are watching, happy Mother's Day, Mom. I know my mom is watching. Happy Mother's Day. Y'all tell my mama happy Mother's Day. Love you, love you. And to all of you beautiful moms, First Lady Terrace, happy Mother's Day to you all.
Thank
And
you.
Aaron, mother to be, happy birthday. Happy birthday.
Thank you. Same to you guys. Happy Mother's Day.
Yes, to all of you who are watching with us, we pray that you have a happy Mother's Day. Love on your mother. Let her know you appreciate her. Let her know that you see her as a woman, Drayden. I love that. All right, guys. Be blessed. God bless you.
Bye.
Bye.
Bye. We want everything to be about her. All the time that you just anyway.